Hello, beautiful humans. Thank you so much for coming to join me today. My name is Jenny. This is a core and restore practice. For class today, you may want to grab a block. We are going to be using a little bit of engagement. It's just going to add a little bit more, but if you don't have one, that's totally fine. And for the restore part, if you want to grab a blanket, cushions, pillows, anything like that to support yourself, feel free, but again, they're not necessary. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So for right now, we're gonna start kneeling. As long as that doesn't feel too bad on your knees, you are welcome to kneel on a blanket. You can double up on the mat. And another nice thing too, especially if you have sensitive knees, is to grab a block or maybe a book or something to put between the ankles so that you can sit back on that and put more pressure on that prop versus on the ankles or on the knees. All right, and if it doesn't feel good at all to be on your knees, go ahead and sit on the booty. And just bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. Sit up nice and tall, relax in the shoulders, relax in the face. Find some nice length in the spine as you start to connect to your breath. As you start to observe your breath, start to bring a little more intention to your breathing, a little more awareness, extending out the inhale, lengthening out the exhale. And we do want to draw the breath in and out of the nose. And you're also welcome to activate ujjayi breathing, which is done by activating the muscles in the back of the throat, same muscles that you use when you're fogging up a window or a mirror. So it gives you that nice little oceanic sound, the Darth Vader breath, whisper breath, little audible quality. Starting to engage with your core on the inhale, pressing the belly out, creating space for the diaphragm to lower and the lungs to expand. And on the exhale, drawing the belly button in towards the spine, up towards the heart, helping to lift the diaphragm and press the air out. And also on that exhale, bring in a little contraction of the ribs. So really starting to feel into that core. Starting to connect to your center. And then from your center, start to kind of radiate out away from that, starting to explore the rest of the body. Using the breath to check in with the body, the mind, the emotions, your energetic levels, just witnessing everything going on for you in this moment. Just helping you to become more present, more aware. And our breath is one of the most present things that we have. So when we tune into it, that is helping us to get into our bodies, get into the present moment. Awesome work. As you feel ready, just release the arms down alongside the body. Continue to lengthen up through the spine. We'll take an inhale to send the arms out to the side. Start to raise them up towards the sky. Find length in the side body. And exhale as we release them down. We'll start to bow forward. Chest comes down towards the thighs. Hands come towards the low back. And then inhale, spread the arms out as you start to raise the chest back up, reaching the arms back up towards the sky. And exhale, spread the arms. Start to lower the chest down. Take it nice and slow. Hands come to the low back or close, and then inhale, raise back up. And once again, start to release the arms down. And then we'll pause here. Hands could rest alongside the body, they could rest on the low back, or perhaps they interlace. And if you want to get a little bit more into the shoulders, into the chest, you could also raise the arms overhead as you lower the head down towards the ground. Awesome work. If the hands are raised, lower them down towards the low back. And then on an inhale, start to lift the chest. Keep the hands interlaced or just behind the back. And then root the hands down as you raise all the way up. Little rolling back of the shoulders, opening through the chest. The gaze could also lift. Awesome work. On your next inhale, release the hands, send them out to the side and reach them up towards the sky. And exhale this round, bend the elbows, send the arms into goalposts. And then we're gonna inhale, draw the shoulders back, shoulder blades pinch together, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, start to bring elbows and forearms together as you tuck in through the chin. A few more rounds here. Inhale to open up through your goalposts, elbows draw back, gaze lifts, heart lifts. Exhale, arms come together, chest rolls in as the chin comes down. One more inhale, open up. And exhale, round it out. Awesome work. Inhale, come to neutral as you reach the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, start to bring the hands forward towards our tabletop, hands and knees. You're welcome to continue to kneel on that blanket if that's feeling good for you. Spread out through the hands, find a solid connection down to the hands. Point into the toes, so we're pressing into the tops of the feet, hips in line with the knees, ankles in line with knees. Awesome work. Find a length in the spine, then we'll move through some cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, pelvis tilts up, gaze lifts, heart shines forward. Exhale, press the ground away, rounding out in the spine, lifting the belly up, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. Few more rounds like this. Really find that solid connection to the hands and to the feet so that you're nice and active here. Really press the ground away as you round out into your cat. And then really connect down to the hands and to the feet as you smile the spine through cow. So maybe even pressing so much that you start to almost shake in the arms and the feet. Really finding that engagement, that activation. Awesome work. When you're ready, next time you're rounded out in your cat pose, pause here. Really draw that belly button in. Really lift through the back of the ribs. Press the ground away. Let the back of the heart shine between the shoulder blades. And then we'll take some torso circles here. So starting to shift the ribs over towards the right as they circle down, back through center through your cow pose. Shifting ribs over towards the left as you raise them back up and round out through cat. So take a few rounds here. These circles could be as large or as small as you'd like. You're welcome to bend into the elbows. Take it down even lower. We're still pressing into the tops of the feet. And when you're ready, reverse direction of those circles. So we're still moving from the strength in the core as we stretch the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Find a little more movement through the torso. Stretching the front, back, and side core. Awesome work. Start to make your way back towards a neutral spine. And then we'll send the hips back, taking a child's pose, extending the arms overhead, head and chest lower down. They don't need to touch. Awesome work. Start to walk the fingers over towards the right, getting a nice deep side stretch to the left. Inhale to walk the hands back towards center and take it over towards the left. Nice side stretch through the right side body. Now we'll start to walk the hands back towards center. Shift the hips back up to our tabletop. This time we're going to prop the toes, root back through the heels, lengthen in the spine with the core engaged. Start to hover the knees, coming into bear pose. We've got that same activation through the hands, through the feet, rooting back through the heels to get a stretch through the arches of the feet. All right, stay here if you'd like. This is a challenge. If you want a little bit more, we're gonna bring the right knee towards the right elbow and then step it back. Left knee towards left elbow and step it back. 2 more rounds. Right knee, right elbow, step it back. Left knee, left elbow, stay connected, step it back. Last one, right knee, right elbow, step on back. Left knee, left elbow, step it back. Awesome work. Slowly start to lift the hips, chest shifts back towards thighs, head between biceps, come to your first downward dog. And from here, feel free to pedal through the feet, shake the head yes or no. And you're welcome to keep the knees as bent as much as you'd like so that you can keep that spine nice and straight. Notice that if you start to straighten through the legs, you round out in the spine, keep that bend so you can find that length. Find your breath here. Beautiful work. Now, just for a little bit of fun here, lift both heels up and then lower back down. Lift them up. Lower back down. And then if you want, take it a little faster. And if you want, take it even faster so that you're bringing in more of a shake here. Kind of a booty bounce. Awesome work. All right, go ahead and root the heels back down. They don't need to touch the ground. Bringing in a little upper arm strength here, or I guess a little more. We're gonna do some push-ups in our downward dog. So you're just gonna lower the head down, elbows come out to the side, and press away. Awesome work, just 2 more. And press back up, lower down, and press back up. Awesome work. We'll start to shift forward through a plank pose. Shoulders come in line with the elbows. You're welcome to lower the knees down or stay up in plank, and then slowly start to lower all the way down to the belly. Point the toes, press into the tops of the feet, elbows draw together. Inhale, lift up to cobra, strengthening the back side of the core. And exhale, lower down. 2 more just like that. Inhale, lift, shoulders draw together, heart shines forward. Exhale, lower back down. Last one here. Inhale, lift, and pause here. Maybe the hands start to hover, finding a little more activation in the back. Shoulders draw together, gaze lifts. Press into the tops of the feet so those legs are nice and active. 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, lower down. Awesome work. You can release the arms down, maybe turn onto one side of the cheek. You could shake out through the legs, through the hips. You could also bend the knees and take some reverse windshield wipers. Feel your heart beating into the ground. Find your breath. All right, when you're ready, re-extend through the legs. Hands come back underneath the shoulders, elbows draw together. Coming out the way we came in, find that core engagement. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, press the ground away, coming back up through plank or your half plank. And then lift the hips, downward dog. Fantastic work. All right, now we're just going to start to walk the feet forward, and we're going to come into a seated position. So bend the knees, find a seat, extend out through the legs, have space behind you to lie back. We're going to take a little zombie down towards the ground. So flex the toes back, legs are nice and active, extend out through the arms, lengthen up through the spine. You're welcome to bring the hands back behind you to help you lower down if you need that extra support while you build up core strength. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, start to lay it back, trying to keep the spine straight for as long as you can. Again, it's okay if you rock back, it's okay if you fall back, and when you have to, start to round out, slowly pressing the low back into the ground, the mid back, embrace the shake, the upper back, eventually the shoulders and the head. Send the arms overhead, reach out through the legs, nice big good morning stretch. Roll out through the wrists and ankles, wiggle through the fingers, through the toes. Awesome work. On an inhale, we'll start to draw the knees in towards the chest. You could bring these in one at a time or simultaneously. Hands come to the outsides of the knees, tops of the knees, or wrap around and hug it in. All right, now we're going to create a little ball here. So if it feels okay in the neck, raise the head, neck, and shoulders up so that the head is coming towards the knees, knees towards the head. Hug the legs in. Again, you can even wrap the arms around. And squeeze so much. Activate every single muscle in the body. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Awesome work. Inhale and hold as you continue to squeeze. And on your exhale, let it out, release the arms out to the side, extend through the legs. Low boat. Awesome work. Arms overhead is more of a challenge. Arms could extend down towards the hands, or they could lower down towards the ground. If this is straining through the neck, you could also bring the hands back to support you. Shoulders and neck are raised up off the ground. Feet are hovering. If this is causing any pain in the low back, raise the hips a little higher. Awesome work. Embrace that shake. On your next inhale, draw the knees back in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around, head towards the thighs. Take a nice deep inhale. Hold at the top, squeeze, squeeze everything in. Hold the breath. And once again, exhale out of the mouth as you open up. Nice work. Finding low boat. Core is engaged. One more deep inhale, and exhale, release it all down towards the ground. Feel that energy, feel that heat, feel that prana. Fantastic work. Once again, we'll draw the knees in towards the chest and extend the legs up towards the sky. And this is where maybe having a block might come in handy just to bring in a little more activation. So if you have a block handy, you can bring it in between the thighs. But if not, just imagine the block is there. You're squeezing in, flex the toes back. Hands can come alongside the body, pressing into the ground, or you could bring the hands back behind you and to support the head. All right, now stay in tune with the low back here. We're going to slowly start to lower the legs down, finding whatever angle gives you a desired activation. But what we don't want is the low back to come up off the ground. So keep that nice and flat. Lower the legs, squeeze them in, flex the toes. Awesome work. On an inhale, draw the legs back up. Exhale, lower down, whatever angle feels good for you here. Inhale, draw them back up. Last one, exhale, lower down, flex the toes, squeeze inner thighs together. And draw the legs back up. Fantastic work. Now we're going to bend the knees. Shins come parallel to the ground, and you can have that block there or not. Bring the hands back behind you if they're not already there. Interlace behind the head, open up through the palms. Through the elbows. Inhale, head, neck, and shoulders lift up. Exhale, start to bring the right elbow across to the left knee, extending the right leg out. Inhale, back through center. Exhale to the other side. Extend the left leg out. right knee, or excuse me, left elbow, right knee. Inhale, back through center. And again to the other side. Back through center. Left elbow, right knee. Back through center. A few more rounds here. Keep the elbows nice and open. Keep the chest open so that as you're coming across the body, you're really working those obliques. We're not just faking it by drawing the elbows together and throwing the elbow over or cranking through the head and neck. We're really working those obliques here. We're not rushing through this. Nice slow pace. Getting that activation. Awesome work. All right, wrap up the round you're on. Take one more to each side. Come back through center, release the head and neck down, remove the block if you've got it there. Extend the legs back up towards the sky. And again, the hands could be down alongside the body or they could be interlaced behind the head. Inhale to lengthen, flex the toes back. Exhale, start to open the legs up into a V. Don't worry how wide the legs are coming. And then draw them back in on the inhale. Exhale, open up. Inhale, bring them back in. Working our low abs here, getting some work through the hips. Draw them back in. Awesome work. Take it nice and slow. Embrace the shake. One more. Open up through the legs. Maybe pause here for a few rounds. Kind of let gravity do the work here. Stay flexed through the toes. Legs are active. They're probably shaking. Mine definitely are. Awesome work. On an inhale, draw the legs back together. Exhale, knees in towards the chest. Awesome. Hug the knees in. You could rock side to side. You could take some circles through the knees. Whatever would feel good here. All right, then we're going to take a little rock and roll here, rocking along the length of the spine. So really rounding out in the spine. So that as you rock back, you get a nice little spinal massage. And this move isn't for everyone, so if it doesn't feel awesome, skip it. We're going to come forward through plank pose, so you can plant the hands, cross the feet, hop or step back through plank if that transition doesn't work for you. Find one that does, meeting up in our plank pose. If plank is hard on the wrists, you're always welcome to come down into forearm plank. Awesome work. When you're ready, lift the hips, downward dog. Connect here. And as you feel ready on an inhale, start to raise the right leg up. Keep the hips squared for one round of breath as you lengthen out through the heel. And then when you're ready, bend the knee, heel towards the glute. Knee starts to lift up towards the ceiling, finding an opening in the hips this round. One deep round of breath. Inhale, re-extend through the leg, square through the hips. Exhale, come forward, bring the right knee to right elbow like we had in our bear pose. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes across the body to the left elbow. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee towards nose, heel kicks towards the glute. And from here, we step the foot between the hands, find a nice low lunge. Awesome work. Settle into your base. Find that connection to the feet, square through the hips. When you're ready, inhale, raise up to crescent lunge. Hands can come to the knees or arms could reach forward, up and back. The spine could be hovering over, spine could be extended, chest hovering, or you could be working towards a gentle back bend. That right hip is drawing back, left hip shifting forward, inner thighs draw together. Hips are squared here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pivot the back heel down as you open through the hips, coming into warrior two. So we've gone from squared hips to open hips. Front toes, front knee, tractioning forward, active through that back leg, arms open along horizon. Awesome work. As you bend into that front knee, neither comes in line with the ankle or slightly behind. Nice work. Find your breath. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll straighten through the front leg, reach both arms up. Exhale, re-bend, re-extend through the arms. Inhale, straighten through the leg, reach arms up. Exhale, re-bend, re-extend. Last one, working a little bit through the hips. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down to your warrior two. Inhale to lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands all the way down. Plant the hands, draw that right foot back. Coming through plank, you can lower the knees down to half plank. Elbows draw together, exhale all the way down to the belly. Taking 3 rounds of cobra, point the toes down. Hands could stay planted or they could hover. Inhale, lift up, shoulders draw together. Heart shines forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift it up, strengthening the back side of the core, stretching the front. Exhale, lower. Last round with a hold. Inhale, lift, and pause. Again, hands could hover, elbows could draw together. You can even start to reach the hands back behind you. Maybe even start to play with raising one foot at a time. Maybe both feet raise. Breathe into the belly. You can feel it pressing into the earth. One more deep inhale. Maybe lift everything just a little higher. Exhale, release it down. Turn onto the opposite cheek. Again, you could chill out here. You could take a little shimmy through the hips or bend the knees. Reverse windshield wiper. Feel that heartbeat. Connect to the breath. All right, you know where we're going. Re-extend through the feet, prop the toes, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows draw together. Coming out the way we came in, find that length in the spine and engage in the core. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, press the ground away, up through plank or half plank. Pause here, 1 round of breath. And then lift the hips, downward dog. Awesome work. Few rounds in down dog, then we'll take that little series on the other side. All right, as you feel ready, solid connection to the hands, root down towards that right foot. Inhale, extend the left leg. Toes are active, hips are squared. Doesn't matter how high that leg is raising. And then when you're ready, bend the knee, heel towards the glute, and then knee lifts up towards the sky, finding a little scorpion pose. Check in with the shoulders. We want them nice and squared, hips open. Inhale, re-extend through the leg. Find that squaring through the hips. Exhale, come forward, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, re-extend, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, knee towards nose. Heel towards glute. And then step the foot between the hands. Take as many steps as you need. You can even lower the back knee down and place the foot there. Find your balance, find your connection. Then when you're ready, inhale, raise up, crescent lunge. And hands to the knee, they can extend, they can come into goalposts. Chest could hover, spine at a diagonal or towards that back bend. Squaring through the hips for this one. Left hip drawing back, right hip shifting forward, active through that back leg. And then when you're ready, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, open up warrior two. So we're pivoting the back heel down, opening through the hips. Arms extend. We've got that knee slightly rotated outside, an external rotation, so you can see your bottom toe or your big toe. Find your breath. Rooting down towards the feet. Inhale to straighten through the front leg, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, rebend, re-extend. 2 more, active in that back leg. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, open her up. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, rebend. Inhale here, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Frame the foot, draw the left foot back. 1 round in your plank pose. And then once again, lowering all the way down to the belly. 3 rounds of cobra, point the feet, or point the toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Hands could stay planted or they could hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Maybe they even come out into goalposts. 1 more, inhale, lift and hold. And hands can hover, they can reach back behind you. You could play with raising 1 foot at a time or both legs up into locust. And strengthening the back side of the core. We're not crunching through the low back, so if there's any pain there, maybe lower the feet, maybe lower down a little bit more. 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, release it down. Turn onto either side of the cheek or bring the forehead to the ground. Once again, little shimmy through the hips or some windshield wipers. All right, when you're ready, re-extend through the feet, hands back underneath the shoulders, prop the toes, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, engage in the core. Exhale, press the ground away up through plank or half plank. 1 deep round of breath here. And then lift the hips, downward dog. Fantastic work. All right, 1 more round of those down dog push-ups. You can definitely skip this if you want. When you're ready, bend the elbows, lower the head down, keep the spine straight, feet rooted. Press the ground away. 2 more. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, raise back up. Last one. Inhale, lower. Exhale, raise. Whew, nice work. Nice and slow. We're going to come back down through our bear pose. So we're bending in the knees. The legs, spine is straight, hovering the knees, and then slowly set the knees back down. Walk the hands back so that they're underneath the shoulders, or maybe slightly forward if that feels better on the wrists. All right, now we're going to extend the right toes back. We're going to do little rainbow kicks. So we're going to lift the leg just level with the hips, step that leg, little tap out towards the right, and then rainbow kick all the way back across to the left and tap. Raise that leg, rainbow kick out to the right, and rainbow kick out to the left. Now we'll take a few rounds here, working some strength through the hip flexors, through the booty, through the hamstring. And we don't want to just throw the leg around, and we don't want to swing so much through the hips that it takes us out of alignment. So nice and slow. Awesome work. All right, do 1 more rainbow kick to the left. Back towards the right. All right, then we're going to draw that right knee back in. Find a little squaring through the hips. And then we're going to lift the knee. We're going to bring it towards the right elbow. Back through center. To the right. Back through center, working those obliques out to the right. Back through center. And then knee over towards the left. Back through center. To the left, through center. 1 more to the left, through center. Now knee towards the nose. Kick the heel towards the glute. We're getting those deep abs here. Knee towards nose, back through center. Awesome work. Now we're gonna come into cow face pose from here. So if you can, draw the knee forward, bring the right foot to cross over the left, set the right shin down, and then we're gonna draw the left knee in and sit all the way back onto the sits bones. So we find ourselves in cow face. If that doesn't feel awesome, just find a seated position, cross the right knee over the left leg, and then you can bend that left leg, find that stacking through the hips. I'll actually switch it up so that I'm mirroring you. All right, so we want to find a solid connection down to the sits bones. If you're not quite there yet, bring in a blanket, fold up the mat, bring a little lift in the booty. And you can work to get the knees stacked. I've got super tight hips, so my knees aren't doing that. What's more important is to have that squaring through the hips, that solid connection to the sits bones. And we want to flex the toes back, so you're getting a nice deep stretch through those hips. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. You're welcome to stay here if this is enough. You can just bring the arms back or down alongside the body. If you do want a little more, you could walk the hands forward and slowly start to lower the chest down towards that right knee. Maybe lower the head down. Maybe it rests, maybe it doesn't. Awesome work, getting a nice little stretch for the low back and really getting into those outer hips. Awesome work. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to raise back up if you were bowed forward. And then again, if this transition works for you, we'll start to lean forward, starting to come back to our tabletop, uncrossing through the legs, finding our tabletop. But if that, just find whatever transition works best for you here. And then we'll just take that over to the other side. So find that solid connection down to the hands, press the ground away, lengthen through the spine, send the left toes back. We'll lift the foot just as high as the hips and then tap that foot out towards the left. Rainbow kick up through center, across, over towards the right. Few rounds here. Again, resist that urge to go fast. Really working the booty. Working the obliques, getting some hip flexor strength. And we're trying to keep that right hip as in line with the right knee as possible. It's okay if there's a little bit of shifting, but we don't want to just dump all the weight over. And we want to keep the spine nice and straight so there's no twisting through the spine. Find your breath. And again, if you have sensitive knees, you're welcome to kneel on a blanket, double up on the mat. One more rainbow kick to each side. So we've got over to the right and up through the left. Awesome work. We'll bring that left knee back in towards neutral, but hover that left knee, and then we'll start to bring it out and to that left elbow. Inhale back through center. So we're trying to stay nice and stable here. So we bring that knee to the elbow, heel towards the glute, back through center. One more here, back through center. And then we'll take it across to that right elbow, through center, working those deep obliques, slow movements here, over towards that right elbow, back through center, and then knee towards nose, back through center. There'll be a little natural rounding of the spine as you bring a little tuck through the tailbone. Fantastic work. Last round, knee towards nose. And back through center, and then we'll find our transition to cow face. So bringing that left knee forward, bringing that left foot Around to the right side, planting the left shin, tucking the right knee behind the left. Start to slowly walk the hips back till you find that solid connection to the sits bones. Again, if that transition does not feel awesome for you, find a seat, cross the left ankle over the right, and then draw that right knee in. You can even keep that right leg extended if that feels better for your knees. Finding that solid connection to the sits bones, again, patting the booty if you need to bring a little lift. And you can work to bring the knees stacked, not necessary. What's most important is that squaring through the hips. You could stay here, lengthening through the spine, or if it would feel good, walk the hands forward and bring a slight bow forward. Beautiful work. If you're bowed forward, slowly start to raise back up. And from here, we're just gonna uncross through the legs. Send them out nice and wide, or I guess as wide as they'll go. As you can see, this is what I'm working with. Splits are probably not ever gonna happen in this lifetime for me, but I am embracing where I am. So again, you can bring a little lift in the booty. I'm going to do that by sitting up on a blanket or a block. Flex the toes. Again, find that solid connection to the sits bones. If this is enough activation, enough sensation for you, feel free to stay here. If you do want a little more with a nice straight spine, we'll start to bow forward. Maybe the hands walk forward. Maybe you bring in a prop here. You could bring in a block to kneel on, or to bring the elbows on. You could, if you have a bolster or some cushions, you could really, release all the way down to a nice forward fold. Keep the toes flexed, nice and active. And if you can, find a release through the head, neck, and shoulders. So maybe dropping the chin down. Maybe find something to rest on. Find your breath. When you're ready, nice and slow, start to walk the hands back up. Now we're going to turn the shoulders over towards the right so that the chest is kind of squared to that leg, and then we're going to slowly start to bow forward. So again, you could bring in props to support you. Maybe you bring in a block to bring the ground closer. Maybe you want to stack props so that you can release the head down. But we want to try to keep those shoulders tracking in line with the knees. Now this round, we're gonna take those squared shoulders and we're gonna start to open them up to the center. So that right arm could find the ground, it could find a block either inside or outside of the knee. And then we'll start to open up through that left shoulder. So starting to find a little opening through the chest. That left arm could extend out, it could reach up, or maybe even up and over to really exaggerate that side stretch here. So when our shoulders were squared, we were getting a little more into the low back, kind of more on the back side of that right side, or left side, if that makes sense. And then here, as we open through the chest, we're getting that full side stretch here. So just different stretches, different sensations. Awesome work. As you feel ready, nice and slow, we'll start to come up through center, however that works for you. And we'll take it to the other side. So we'll start by squaring those shoulders over towards that left leg. And then we'll start to lower the heart down towards that leg. Doesn't matter how far you're coming. And you could bring in props to support you. You could lower with the chest nice and straight, or you could find a release through the head, neck, and shoulders. Dropping the chin down. Maybe you bring in props to support. And not trying to force anything. On one side, I was able to get my head down to the block. Can't do it here, not gonna force it. We work both sides to bring balance, but we don't want to force the same experience. We really want to be present, to get to know the asymmetries, the imbalances in our bodies, and to learn how to work with them. Awesome work. Embrace the shake if you've got it in the legs. I definitely do. All right, then when you're ready, we'll start to bring that opening through the chest. So the left arm will stay down. Again, it could find a block or a prop. It could be in front or behind. And then we'll slowly start to open up through that right shoulder. And the arm could extend out. It could reach up or bicep by the ear. So taking that stretch from the back left side to the left side. Or excuse me, that would be your right. Breathe through this. It should feel challenging, should feel a little uncomfortable, shouldn't be painful. No pinching, burning, tearing sensations. Just slightly stepping outside of your comfort zone. Awesome work. Nice and slow. Start to make your way back up towards center. We'll bring the legs together. You can use the hands for a little assistance there. We'll bring the bottoms of the feet to touch, letting the knees drop open. And we'll take a cobbler's pose. You could push the feet further away for a more gentle option. The closer the heels are into the root, the more sensation you're gonna get in the inner hips. Knowing that more sensation is not always better. What we want to do is be present to the sensation and try to use our discernment if this is helping or if it's hurting. Sitting up nice and tall, finding that connection to the sits bones. If it would feel good, again, you're welcome to bow forward. Resist the urge to grab onto the feet and pull yourself down. Just meet yourself where you are. Find that resistance. Let gravity do the work. All right, nice and slow. Slowly start to raise back up. We'll bring the knees together. We're going to take the feet out a little bit wider than hip distance, hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards the feet, and then we'll take some windshield wipers. So knees over towards the left, up through center to the right. Take these as fast or slow as you'd like, but sometimes you can get a nice little booty massage here. So maybe don't rush through that transition. Find that little soft spot, or I guess sweet spot, where it hurts so good. All right, fantastic work. Coming back to neutral. We'll bring the hands to the knees, take a few rounds of seated cat-cow. So inhaling to lengthen through the spine, lift through the chest, little arch in here, and exhale to round it out. Few more rounds like this. have a little space back behind us to lie down, so if you need to scooch the booty forward or back, feel free. And then when you're ready, as you round out, we'll slowly start to lower down one vertebrae at a time, kind of like we did through our zombie pose, but with the knees bent, nice and slow. Take it all the way down to the ground. Awesome work. Once again, stretch out through the legs, send the arms overhead. Nice big good morning stretch. On an inhale, knees draw in towards the chest simultaneously or one at a time. And then we'll extend up through the legs, flex the toes back. And kind of like what we did in our downward dog when we were shaking, let's just shake out through the legs. Shake it out, nice little inversion. And we'll reset for the legs. Nice release for the low back. If it feel good, maybe roll out through the ankles, point and flex through the toes. You could even explore with the legs out wide. They could scissor, whatever feels good. And if you want to take this into shoulder stance, if that's part of your practice, feel free. Bringing a lift in the booty, hands come to the low back, fingers pointing towards the feet. The weight is on the elbows, forearms, and shoulders, no weight in the neck. This is just an option, not necessary. Just getting the legs above the heart. Awesome work. When you're ready, slowly starting to release the feet down towards the ground. Knees bent, feet planted. We'll walk the heels in towards the glutes. We're gonna set up a bridge pose. You're welcome to bring in a block or a bolster, a cushion, a rolled up blanket for a supported bridge if you'd like. So pressing into the feet, we'll bring a little lift through the chest as we tuck the shoulder blades underneath, so we're exaggerating that arch in the lumbar spine. Pressing into the feet, slowly start to lift the hips up. It will be a little more challenging if you are just here in regular bridge, or like I said, you could bring in supported bridge, finding a block, a cushion, a bolster, something to rest the hips on. This is a great stretch for the hip flexors, a nice gentle way to practice a little bit of back bending. The chest is lifting towards the chin, chin lifting towards the ceiling. If you don't have a prop or anything supporting you, you are welcome to interlace through the hands and really roll onto the outsides of the shoulders, bringing a little more opening through the chest. Breathe into the belly. Excellent work. When you feel ready, if the hands are interlaced, you'll release those and untuck through the shoulders. If you're in supported bridge, you'll lift the hips just high enough to slide that prop out from underneath and slowly set the hips back down. Awesome work. Little reset for the low back. Once again, draw the knees in towards the chest. You could circle through the knees or rock side to side. And we'll take a happy baby. Knees separate, feet flex back, feet up towards the ceiling, knees in towards the armpits. You could grab on behind the knees anywhere up the legs or on the outsides of the feet. The tailbone is lengthening as the low back is pressing into the mat. You can use the hands to draw the knees more in towards the elbows, the armpits, so that you can get a little more grounding here. If rocking side to side would feel good, or maybe extending one leg out and then the other. When you're ready, releasing that, maybe taking the feet back down towards the ground, a little wider than hip distance. You could take another round of windshield wipers, this time with lying back. And if you want, pause on each side. So if the knees are over towards the left, point down even more through that right knee, just to get a little more stretch in the outside of the hip and maybe into the hip flexor. Just an option to explore as you switch sides. Just bring a little more awareness to that sensation. And from here, we'll start to wrap up our practice, but if you want to take any other final movements, any stretches, anything to round out your practice, anything to help you settle into our final pose, our final relaxation, feel free to take the next 10 or 20 breaths to explore that. If you want to put on some music for Shavasana, I encourage you to do that, something nice and peaceful. And if you do have more time to dedicate to your Shavasana, I definitely suggest at least 5 minutes, upwards of 20. So take your time to settle into your Shavasana, your final relaxation. You're welcome to use props to support you in any way. You could lie on the back in traditional corpse pose, but tune in if that doesn't feel awesome. Lie on your side, lie on the belly, come to a seated meditation. There's really no wrong way for you to do your Shavasana. And when you get there, allow yourself to fully surrender. Letting all of the amazing work that you've just done, all of that prana, that life energy flowing through the body, allow it to integrate, allow yourself to feel it. And allow yourself this time to just be. And if you have more time to dedicate to your Shavasana, feel free to pause this video, take that time, and restart when you're ready to wrap it up. As you feel ready, just take a moment to check in, to notice your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your body, your energy. Noting any shifts or changes, any releases, any integrations that may have come from your mindful practice. As you feel ready, gently start to bring some movement back into the body. If you're lying down and not already there, slowly start to make your way onto one side of the body. And just pause for a moment in a nurturing pose, a little homage to the first yoga pose we ever took. And offer yourself some gratitude for carving out this time, for stepping on your mat, for giving yourself this gift to move, breathe, and connect. As you feel ready, gently make your way back up to a comfortable seat. And I'll invite you to bring the hands to heart center or take any other meaningful gesture with the hands. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those watching the video, thank you for allowing me into your homes. Thank you for those who joined me in real life. I see you, I honor you, and I bow to you. Namaste.